Welcome to another episode of Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, we'll talk about the Chicago Bulls ranking, their starting five ranking in Bleacher Report's list. We'll also talk about the backcourt and some other things. We'll get into all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for checking out another episode of Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, or it's your team every day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central. And Pat, Bleacher Report, they did it again, bro. They did it.
Why we keep letting them piss us off?
Honestly, I'm not even this time. There's nothing Bleacher Report can do anymore that frustrates me because I know what they are now. They come up with lists, they come up with articles literally to get the people going. And that's it, bro.
It's not provocative.
It's not provocative. Some of them are just stupid. But Bleacher Report ranked the starting fives in the Eastern Conference in each conference, but we're going to specifically focus on the Eastern Conference here.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bulls came in rated at 8th on that list. Now, I will say this: I'm kind of shocked that we're that high, considering how down Bleacher Report and other places have had the Bulls in this offseason. Yeah. But above us, the Toronto Raptors, Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets, Cleveland Cavaliers, Philadelphia 76ers, Milwaukee Bucks, and, of course, the Boston Celtics. We are ahead of the Miami Heat, surprisingly. What do you think about this list, brother?
The Bulls fan in me wants to say, Bleacher Report, you're morons, and we're going to get into you, and now we're going to treat you and all that. But, I mean, honestly, right, I mean, the two teams that I think both of us probably will have an issue with is Atlanta and Cleveland, because they haven't been seen. But here's the thing, right? Are they grading this as a healthy backcourt, or are they grading this as what our backcourt is starting this season based on the report from Ramona Shelburne? Listen, if our backcourt is Zach LaVine and Ayo Dosunmu, then yeah, it probably is the 8th best backcourt in the Eastern Conference, even with the question marks around a lot of those. Now, if it's Lonzo Ball and Zach LaVine, I think that's a different conversation, right? Because of what Lonzo can bring to the game. But if you're talking about Ayo Dosunmu or Alex Caruso, or just the fact that it's so unknown right now around what that point guard position is, I can't say Bleacher Report is 110% off their rocker.
In fairness, I can understand some of the doubt with that that you laid down. Now, they did listen to this. They ended the article with this, as far as the Chicago Bulls section, saying, when healthy, this can be one of the best starting fives in all of basketball. Yeah. So, understandably there. So, I mean, they are.
I think they're grading it for what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I do like what they said. So, of the starting five only played 5 games together. They played a total of 63 minutes at that. But they had a positive plus minus net rating of 9.6. But the thing with you, to your point, that even when you take Lonzo Ball out of that lineup and insert Alex Caruso in that lineup, we still had a positive split of 7.5. So still really good there. But like you said, I can understand some of the doubt around it, especially when you're talking about health, especially, what's Patrick Williams actually going to do? Is he going to take a leap? Does Vooch continue to slide down? Does he even out? Does he get a little bit more efficient in hitting a higher percentage of his threes? Yep. I can understand some of that. But the thing is that you're rating teams that we haven't even seen together to see how they're going to work out. That 6-1 backcourt over in Cleveland, it's hard for me to believe in that until I see it. The Atlanta Hawks, I can believe in that a little bit more, but still, there's some doubt there. Go ahead, bro. What were you about to say?
No, I'm with you 100%, right? I think the biggest thing that is the takeaway that you have to say with this is Bleacher Report sounds like they share a lot of the same doubts that we do, right? Like they sound like they share a lot of the same question marks around this team, a lot of the same issues around this team that we do. Hey, listen, we don't know what our point guard position is going to look like either. And we would love to have the answer on that. We don't know where this Bulls team is going to be at without Lonzo Ball possibly being in that lineup, right? Because that means somebody's going to get a lot more minutes than we didn't expect, and we don't know how that's going to affect this team. While it did affect this team fine last season, and they were able to do a lot of things really well last season, right? This is an entirely new season. A sophomore slump is called a sophomore slump for a reason. We all expect Ayo to take this step forward. But the reality is he could absolutely take a step back. So the question marks around the entire point guard position of this team, I can't kill Bleacher Report for their statement on this. Do I think when healthy, and like they said, when healthy, is this one of the best starting fives in the NBA? Yeah, I do believe that. Even if you don't think that Patrick Williams is an offensive juggernaut or is going to turn into an offensive juggernaut, I think most people around the NBA look at him as one of the best defenders in the NBA that is improving consistently and is doing a better job on the defensive end. And that is something that, listen, that we count even with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think Isaac Okoro is going to go out there and put up 30, but I think that he can go out there and clamp your best player.
Oh, Isaac Okoro's defense is going to be extremely needed for this backcourt, and he is going to have a lot of tired nights. Yeah, well, on the wing now, they do have some good defensive studs down low, but I want to ask you this. The Brooklyn Nets being ranked 5, considering that we haven't seen Ben Simmons, how that's going to work with Kyrie, because theoretically, Ben Simmons is going to be the starting point guard. Kyrie Irving is going to be moving to shooting guard. What do you think about the potential for their lineup, another lineup that we haven't seen any minutes of yet?
I think that's the best thing for Kyrie, and I've always said that. Kyrie, to me, is a shooting guard. Kyrie, to me, is somebody who handles the ball amazingly. He can break you down one-on-one. Can he get involved in the passing game? For sure. He's an excellent passer. He's got really good court vision, but he wants to be a scorer. He wants to dominate you. He wants to make you look stupid on the other end, and he's really good at doing that. And I think that's the one thing that Ben Simmons accentuates, right? Like what the one season where Kyrie was one of the best players in the NBA, granted, because he was playing, but where he was one of arguably the best players in the NBA was, okay, LeBron James has the ball in his hand more times than not, and he's facilitating everything, and Kyrie's a shooting point guard that's knocking down threes at one of the highest clips in the league. Like Kyrie in that finals run was shooting three-pointers shot for shot with Stephen Curry. So you have to look at what Kyrie is as a player and say, okay, listen, like, yeah, is he a point guard? Yeah, mostly because of size. If Kyrie was 6'5", we'd all be talking about him as a two guard, but mostly because of size and his handling ability, he's a point. So I can't disagree with that. And listen, as much as I can rag on Ben Simmons for other things outside of the basketball realm, and I do have my issues with how he went about it, I don't take away two things from him. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA when he's on the court, and he's got great ball vision. Whether he's offensive or not, that is what it is.
He has ball vision?
Ball vision, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, take that however you want it, baby. If it's a flag on the play, it's a flag on Ben. He's got great ball vision out here.
Now, what do you think about the Miami Heat being ranked after the Bulls at number 9? Considering really the only thing changing in their starting lineup is swapping out PJ Tucker with Caleb Martin.
I think same thing, right? Same questions around what you saw in the playoffs last year. Is Tyler Hero the sixth man of the year? Because he sure didn't look like it.
Well, this is starting fives. So
he's even off the bench. So,
yeah,
who is your point?
Kyle Lowry? Yeah, they have Kyle Lowry listed.
Kyle Lowry was awful last year.
At the end of the season.
Does Kyle Lowry getting skinny?
But that's why he went and got that BBL you mentioned.
Hey, man, I mean, listen, does him getting the BBL make you feel better about his play on the court? Like, here's the thing. Skinny for Kyle Lowry to me, unless and maybe he does prove me wrong, but skinny for Kyle Lowry doesn't make him better. Kyle Lowry, while I have had my issues with him as a point guard and where he is finishing and however you want to take him as a player, right? Kyle Lowry's game is built around him being the bulldog.
Yeah.
His game is built around, I'm bigger than most point guards. I'm going to bump you out of my way. I'm going to move you out of my way. His game isn't finesse. His game isn't I'm finna shake you up. His game isn't I'm finna blow past you. Now, maybe he's able to do that, but I would have to see that. And this is at a much older age than like if he did this at like in Memphis or in Toronto, right? Like he's the older point guard on the team.
Shout out to Kyle Lowry bringing the stretch mark 1 on the team. There's not that many point guards who've been stretch mark 1s on NBA teams, and he's one of the few. And shout out to being able to do that.
Is he doing the waist trainer on the court, or is that how's that work out for him? Is he rocking with the waist trainer? I'm asking for
Wait, are you
myself,
saying,
honestly.
so you're going on record? So you were the first to go on record and say Kyle Lowry got a BBW. Now you're saying he's wearing shapewear under his NBA uniform?
I mean,
Is that
bro,
what you're
listen,
saying?
are you trying to get the cut or not? Like, if you gonna do it all the way, bro. You know what I mean? Like, if you gonna do it, get cut. Don't go halfway with it. That's why these BBLs be out here looking so bad. These mugs out here going halfway with it, out here looking like Flick from A Bug's Life.
Oh my God. Oh. Wow.
You seen them. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. All right. So next up, we're going to go ahead and get right on off that. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Bulls backcourt and where it ranks in Bulls history.
Yeah.
But first, I got to talk to you guys about Bet Online.
I had a conversation. Tell them about Bet Online, man. I bet he got that BBL.
BetOnline.net is your number one source for all your pro and college betting needs and sports info this season. Find all the latest football league developments, NFL developments, game matchups, news, and why do they write it that way? And podcasts, including this year's opening week's games that have already passed. BetOnline is also your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. The fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. Bet Online is where the game starts. All right, Pat. Man, every time Kyle Lowry comes up, bro, it's always something, man. I don't know what. It's his name does something to you. It sends you in a place that I'm just...
Bro, because you know what? I've been frying this man my whole career, and literally anytime he plays the Bulls, he cooks us, and it irritates my soul because I've never thought he was that good of a player.
Oh, man.
I've never been a Kyle Lowry guy.
Didn't Heinrich lock him up once?
Heinrich used to lock him up. It was a couple players that the Bulls had that did well against Kyle Lowry, but like as I started doing the breeze and stuff like that and talking about like whenever he would come here, every time I would be like, bro, I'm not a believer in Kyle Lowry. He would drop like 30. I'd be like, oh, well, even down in Miami, like he cooked us in Miami.
Yeah, he did cook us last season. It's the way things happen. You know, that's just the way it works out.
That's just the way it is.
We're here to talk about the Chicago Bulls backcourt and where it ranks amongst the best backcourts in Chicago Bulls history. Now, really, we haven't had a lot of dominant backcourts other than, I mean, as far as both players. I mean, MJ is a dominant backcourt in of itself.
I mean, you gotta think Harper.
Him and BJ were a force for a while.
BJ and MJ and Harper and MJ. Literally any backcourt and MJ, like anybody and MJ.
So I mean, really, what we're ranking here is anybody in MJ, Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon, Derrick Rose, Ben Gordon, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball.
Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah, no.
Derrick Rose,
Jimmy wasn't much. Then. He was the two. Then.
There wasn't much of it. There wasn't much of it.
You're right. You're right. Who was the backcourt mate with Jerry Sloan? Who was?
Oh, you know what? That might be a good one. That would have been Jerry Sloan and is that? Oh, I don't want to say the wrong name. Then I'm gonna have the Bulls historians.
Oh, they're gonna come get you. They're gonna come get you, bro.
And this is the wild part. I actually think I'm right. But
so he played in Chicago 10 years.
Yeah, he's Mr. Bull, literally.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, out of what we know, I'll do some research while we're talking. But of what we know, where are you ranking our current backcourt?
I would put this back. Well, I mean, are we going Lonzo? Lonzo, Zach?
Yeah, we're going Lonzo, Zach.
Okay.
Fully healthy.
Fully healthy. It's back for me. I'm not gonna lie, right? Like, because Derrick Rose, Ben Gordon could have been a tandem and was a tandem in that playoff run that was almost impossible to stop if Ben Gordon was knocking down his shot. So I would have to put him behind him.
Okay.
I mean, everybody's behind MJ. I would put it behind Zach and Jimmy. Or I'm sorry, I would put it behind Derek and Jimmy. Like, just because, right, like, one, we haven't seen it, but also, like, Derrick Rose was ascending to be a superstar level player. And I don't know if either of the players in this backcourt are. And so when you look at that, right, like even whoever was the point guard with Jerry Sloan,
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Sloan was a superstar level player. Michael Jordan was a superstar level player. Derrick Rose was ascending to be a superstar level player. I don't know if you can say that about either of the players in this backcourt currently, right? Like neither's been out of the first round of the playoffs yet.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm judging it by talent, not necessarily results, because there are a lot of things that go on. So you can have a very talented backcourt, and the rest of the team can suck, and you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Derek Kirk, right?
Derek Kirk, right? Derek is a big part of it.
Yeah. I mean, because I think potential wise, Lonzo and Zach have the chance, right? They need health. Yeah. They have the chance to be right up there, but I can't. We haven't seen a big enough sample size for me to give it to him. I would probably go Harper Jordan
as the best one all time. Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
because
I go Harper Jordan
because there was so much offense that could have been gotten there.
Yeah. Harper Jordan, Derek. Which backcourt mate are you giving Derek as his best backcourt mate? Because again, much like with Zach and Lonzo, we didn't get to see as much success with Jimmy and Derek. Like
Jimmy and Derek or Ben and Derek, right? Like,
yeah,
it's got to be Kirk, right?
Size. Yeah,
it's got to be Kirk.
So I would give it Harper Jordan, Derek Kirk, BJ Jordan, and then everything else is.
You putting Derek Kirk over BJ Jordan?
Again, this is my list. This is my this is my list. Keep in mind too. No, there's no way I can rationalize that. There's no rationalization for it. So
I love how you were going to try to justify
I was about to try.
And I was just going to be like, Michael Jordan.
So yeah, any Michael Jordan backcourt, Michael Jordan by himself, the ghost of whoever in Michael Jordan, and then you got a couple of reigns down, and then you got Derek and Kirk in there.
Man, could you imagine? Here's a crazy one, right? And this is the biggest probably what if of all time, because Jerry Sloan did not stop playing after he left the Bulls. Would he have made it? No, it would have been too far away. He'd have been way too old. I was thinking 78 or 74 like Jordan came in near that, but no. I was gonna say, could you imagine Sloan and Jordan in the backcourt together?
Jerry Sloan never played after he left Chicago. He played with Baltimore before Chicago. He never played with another team after Chicago.
I thought he played with somebody after Chicago,
No, he left Chicago in 76, 77, I believe. Yep. And then that's it. He was coach of the Bulls by 79 on the coaching staff. That's
true. Yeah. Okay. Here's the what is your, and I think this is a better one, right? Even than just ranking them, because like it's hard to rank anything with a guard position.
It's hard to rank eras too. Like
it's hard to rank eras, but what would be your backcourt that's the most functional in Chicago Bulls history? Let's say put them in today's NBA, most functional in Chicago Bulls history. And it seems like the obvious one is Derek Jordan.
No, Kirk.
But I don't think it is.
It's Kirk and Jordan. Kirk Hinrich and Michael Jordan next to each other would have been a dominant backcourt in any era.
I feel like you have to go opposite of the obvious ones, because Derek wasn't as good of a defender for one. That's true. Derek next to Jordan, both of them are trying to go to the bucket and get a bucket.
Yeah.
Offensively, that's great, but Derek's not holding up his end on the defensive end. Derek and Sloan would be crazy though.
Oh,
Derek and Sloan would be crazy. Like, I feel like you got to go like opposite of what your brain would like. Of course, it's going to be our best point guard and our best shooting guard ever. It was like, nah, I don't think so.
No, I'm telling you, Kirk Hinrich and Michael Jordan would be the best Chicago Bulls backcourt duo ever.
Unless you let Pippen play point, then you can do what you want.
If you let Pippen play point, you can almost do whatever else you want to do. But yeah, if you were just talking about true guards, Jordan and Kirk Hinrich is it for me. You know what else would have been nasty?
Crazy that
You know what else would have been? Prime Kirk Heinrich and Zach LaVine would also be a nasty backcourt. Would also be nasty.
Prime Kirk Heinrich.
Because Kirk Heinrich had it's two different. Kirk Heinrich young and prime Kirk Heinrich are two complete. When Kirk Heinrich changed his body to play next to Derrick Rose,
and went
a completely different player.
That's why Zach and Kirk would be interested. That's crazy. Kirk Heinrich is probably arguably our best point guard, like legit point guard. Because Harper was a 2. And then was like, I'm going to play point, I guess, because Michael Jordan is there.
Yeah.
So, like, he's probably our best legit. Is that facts? Kirk Heinrich is our best legit point guard?
I'm sure somebody, like you said, a Bulls historian is going to come in and be like, well, actually, guys, you guys are forgetting about. But
which I'm fine with. But, like, I'm really having we're having a moment of
this is a really reflective moment here, brother.
Like Andre Drummond. Like when we found out.
Not Drummond. Josh Smith.
Josh Smith. Like when we found out Josh Smith. Is Kirk Heinrich really, outside of like Derrick Rose, because Derrick Rose is more of a scorer, our best pure point? You talking Derrick, Kirk, John Paxson. Paxson's tough, actually. But Paxson was more of a shooter. That's crazy. Yo, if you can find a better point guard, let me know in the comments below.
There you go. Let us know in the comments down below.
Now.
But next, we're going to get into our last topic for the day, and that's the number of the back-to-backs the Bulls play next season. But first, got to talk to you guys. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Which player moves the betting line the most this season? Locked On and BetOnline odds makers present NBA Top 50 Most Valuable Players starting on September 19th. Find it on Locked On NBA, wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. All right, Pat. So you presented this. You want to talk about the number of back-to-backs that the Bulls have next season and how difficult this schedule really is about to be for the Chicago Bulls.
It's crazy.
Go ahead, give it to me.
I mean, last season, right? You look at this Bulls team, and we had 17 back-to-backs. Bulls were 9-8 last season in 17 back-to-backs. So basically, you won one, you lost one. Of course, they won a couple of them, but it ends up working out as you win one, you lost one, and it is that's kind of what you hope for in back-to-back situations, right? Like you would love to have a much more above 500 record, but rest has to come into play. If you're not getting that rest, you tend to lose some of those games. This season, not only does our amount of games that we have back-to-back increase, but it increases quite a bit. I mean, we go from 17 games last season to 24 games this season. We have 12 back-to-backs this season.
Well, we have more than that, bro. We have 15 backs-to-back this season.
Did I miscount?
Yeah. We are tied with 4 other teams with 15 back-to-backs this season.
So maybe I miscounted.
And 4 of those back-to-backs happened in the first 12 games of the season.
So we have 30
games that are back-to-back out of an 82-game season.
That is crazy, bro.
And we are tied for second in the NBA in rest disadvantage. And we only have 8 games over the course of the whole season. We have the rest advantage, which means even when we're not on a back-to-back, we're coming off less rest than our opponent more times than not this season.
And none of them are easy. I mean, you start looking through them. Like we play Philly on the second of a back-to-back. Now we got the Spurs on the front end, but we play Philly on the second of a back-to-back. And then we come off of that back-to-back, go right back into a back-to-back where we play Brooklyn and then the Hornets.
That's crazy, bro.
So, like, I mean, here's the thing, right? How do you think the Bulls are going to fare in their back-to-backs this season? And do you think that this is something by the end of the season, right, that we're going to look at and say the Bulls probably could struggle in the playoffs because they're going to be exhausted by the time we get to the season? Or is it on the coaching staff to manage it?
It's up to them to manage, but no, I think the opposite of that, like the Bulls are going to be battle tested early this season. We are going to know what this team is, the grit of this team very early this season. And I honestly think the number of back-to-backs, with the difficulty of back-to-backs, with the rest disadvantage, we're going to have to go deeper in our bench than maybe what we were expecting initially in the season. And because of that, we're going to have a roster that's tested and ready to go. I honestly think, well, keep in mind, you get a little bit of rest before the playoff, but I think ultimately is going to help us come playoff time.
And it's going to be so interesting to me, right, to see, one, like you said, they're going to be battle tested, but to see how is this AK's plan, right? Was this AK's plan all along? Because we've talked about minutes that people would get.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, maybe they do go deeper into their bench. Maybe it is going to turn into, hey, bud, you get 12 minutes. He gets 12 minutes. He gets 12 minutes. He gets 12 minutes. Like legit, because you've got players that are proving that they can still play. We all know Andre Drummond can still play, but Goran Dragic still proving that he's got game. He can still go out there and get a bucket over in the Euro tournament that they got going on right now with the FIFA and stuff like that, or FIBA and stuff like that, right? So like I look at that and I'm just like, I saw how many back-to-backs were really there, and I was like, yo, maybe we will see not only just Goran Dragic, but maybe we will see Javonte Green getting 15 or 10 minutes in a game. Maybe we will see, right, just to like dampen that load. And maybe I think what you could see is the Bulls kind of trying to do what Golden State has done of going for the knockout punch. We have to run this thing up as quickly as possible so that we can sit Zach, DeMar, and Vooch.
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting run of the schedule, bro. The good thing is, too, we are 21 days away from Chicago Bulls basketball, brother.
October 4th, right? First game?
October 4th.
October 4th?
We are 21 days away. Exactly 3 weeks away to the day of getting Chicago Bulls
to this
basketball.
Day.
I can't wait, bro.
I'm so ready for Bulls basketball, bro. Just so Muzz can stop hearing us have mindless debates about stuff that means absolutely nothing. Like I love the Kirk Heinrich and the Derrick Rose and the Joakim Noah debates and all that, but bro,
next
they ain't been on our team in 10 years.
Day of Chicago Bulls. Hey, Jerry Sloan scored 34 points against. That's what we're gonna have to do one off.
You can't even do that. We're in September. No matter where you are in NBA history, nothing was happening in September unless you go back to like 60s basketball, where it's like everything was happening. It's like on this day, Nate Thurman put out a fire at the United Center. Like, what the heck?
Oh man, it's been a heck of an offseason, but we still been delivering content for the most part daily. We've had a couple of skip days in there, but
yeah, these last couple of weeks got rough, man. Y'all don't even know. These last couple of weeks, me and Haize have just looked at each other and been like, bro, what are we talking about today? What is there to talk? How can we spin the same thing again?
We got a new Lonzo Ball update. All right, let's talk about it again. Is it any different from the last 5 we got? No, not at all.
No, not at all. No, it's the same thing back and forth. It's the same thing back and forth. We acknowledge it, man, but we swear the content's going to be even more fire because it's still fire content. Stop playing with us. It's going to be even more fire when the season get here, man. And the Bulls better be winning, man. Hey, listen, if all of a sudden we got on the show and like the team literally just starts going the other direction, I'm quitting. Like, I care about my Bulls more.
I feel you, bro. But, hey, man, that's it for us for today, brother. Go ahead and send us home, bro.
Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. And make sure you follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love, man.
And you can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. And thank you for making us your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA, where the Locked On experts break down all the latest news, rumors, and developments, a.k.a. nothing right now in 30 minutes or less. They can be found wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls, and we out this mug. Peace out.